Good, happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to a new year, January 3rd, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Sunday morning edition of Politics with Riley King. Let's begin. First up on this edition of Politics with Riley King, Sununu says inauguration ceremony canceled because of concerns over armed protesters. Ceremony had been scheduled for next week. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
Break free from 2020 and get moving at Planet Fitness in our clean and spacious clubs. And use our crowd meter for the best time to visit. Join now for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Deal ends January 7th.
For weeks, protesters have gathered at Governor Sununu's home in Newfields, calling for an end to the state of emergency, prompting the town to adopt an ordinance that prohibits residential picketing. Monday night, a group known as Absolute Defiance held what they called a vigil outside Sununu's home.
An armed individual was arrested in my backyard with over 24 rounds of ammunition. And as governor, my obligation is to the safety of my family, to the safety of the citizens of this state.
Police will only confirm that an arrest was made. Sununu says incidents like this caused him to cancel the outdoor inauguration ceremony.
Look, when you see on social media protesters talking about gathering at the inauguration in full force, we have to be concerned about public safety.
The event will be scaled back indoors with the legislators joining virtually. State Democratic Party Chair Ray Buckley says, quote, "It is truly a sad situation when our elected officials need to even think about such a decision due to a small group of truly unhinged gun-toting citizens. Reasonable people across the state need to rise up against these bullies and say enough." An organizer with Absolute Defiance tells News 9 they believe the person arrested was on public property. They go on to say, quote, "We believe these distortions are a tactic for the governor to avoid the protest in Concord and to evade it by holding it at a more private location, not accessible to the public." Sununu will deliver his inaugural address live later that evening. Details on that are expected to come out in the coming days. Reporting in Concord, Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Acting New Hampshire House Speaker slams protests at governor's private residence. Honestly, I feel they're doing more harm for their cause than they're doing good. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Break free from 2020 and get moving at Planet Fitness in our clean and spacious clubs. And use our crowd meter for the best time to visit. Join now for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Deal ends January 7th.
Acting House Speaker Sherman Packard is coming down hard against protesters who've been targeting Governor Sununu's home. In an interview with WMUR Political Director Adam Sexton, Speaker Packard commented on the recent arrest of an armed protester who allegedly trespassed into Governor Sununu's backyard. Packard says he's all for peaceful protest in the public forum, but he believes taking those grievances over pandemic restrictions to the private residence of the governor with the family inside goes way too far.
If you're going to protest, don't do it in front of a family. You're scaring the kids. It's just unnecessary. And honestly, I feel they're doing more harm for their cause than they're doing good.
So you can watch the full interview with Acting Speaker Packard Sunday at 10 a.m. on Close Up.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Sweeney promoted to NHGOP Executive Director as Galt returns to Sununu's office. Staff changes come after Republicans gain control of New Hampshire House, Senate, and Executive Council. New Hampshire educators share concerns with Rep. Chris Pappas. Pappas thanked educators for their work. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Jessica Moran.
if you want to make friends on the trip.
I think we owe you a tremendous debt of gratitude, and we need to match that with action in Washington that's going to provide the support we need here in New Hampshire.
A message of thanks from Congressman Chris Pappas, followed by principals and teachers sharing what they need during the pandemic, including family leave provisions and the reinstatement of paid sick days for coronavirus-related reasons.
Some people may be forced to just be out on sick leave, and it's not fair that someone needs to use their own sick leave when we're in this kind of position.
Remote teachers said one benefit is not having to shuffle between home and school when there's a COVID case in the building. But they also say it's harder to build a sense of community.
Not seeing students in person has been difficult.
The best learning environment for kids is to be in a building with teachers face to face.
Educators say even if students have the right remote learning technology, some are still at a disadvantage.
Their family situation, the home situation is not conducive for them to be online, whether it's unstable environment and things like that. So it's been difficult for some of those students.
And while the bulk of the call centered around the students, one educator mentioned also caring for the adults.
Our focus as teachers and educators is always to focus on the students, but we need to provide more focus to the adults and how they are managing this.
Congressman Pappas said while family leave provisions from the CARES Act are not in the new relief bill, that will be a priority going forward. And he says New Hampshire will be getting $156 million for K through 12 schools in the new package. Reporting live, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Plans for drive-in House session released by acting House Speaker. Plans met with bipartisan criticism. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
Tons of ways to get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Your fitness is essential. Join today for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Deal ends January 7th.
Sherman Packard releasing plans for a drive-in session. Next Wednesday, all 400 members will meet in a parking lot on the campus of UNH. They will remain in their cars, which will be separated by 9 feet on 6 acres of land. The House has met indoors in a UNH arena and outside on an athletic field. Packard says the new layout provides an extra layer of protection.
Some people probably aren't going to be 100% happy with the way we're doing it, but we're doing it in the safest possible manner that we can do it and still live up our constitutional duties of getting the job done.
But some Democrats say they have safety and accessibility concerns about the drive-in session. They add Republicans have refused to allow members to participate remotely, which will prevent some lawmakers from doing their job.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Custer Pappas vote in favor of 2,000 COVID-19 stimulus payments. President Trump signed $900 bill relief package Sunday, pushes Congress to increase direct payments. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
Now through January 7th, join Planet Fitness for no enrollment. Start 2021 with tons of ways to get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Your fitness is essential. Join today for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Deal ends January 7th.
A 275 to 134 vote in the House to increase those $600 payments millions of Americans will be getting to $2,000.
So that families will have the resources they need really to get through what's going to be a tough winter.
While a majority of the affirmative votes were from Democrats, dozens of Republicans also were on board as President Trump has been pushing to increase the direct payments.
Of course, it should have happened a lot sooner, and we should have been able to get help out there months ago. I think that would have helped save lives and keep people safer in their communities. But the help is important. I'm glad that it's getting out.
and we've got to stay committed to this effort.
It comes after the president signed a bill yesterday avoiding a government shutdown and allocating about $900 billion to COVID relief, $2 billion of which is coming to New Hampshire, including $36 million for vaccine distribution and testing and nearly $700 million for unemployment insurance. The average weekly benefit will be about $575 with the added $300 federal supplement. New Hampshire will also receive money for rental assistance, education funding, fisheries, and airports.
So we really want to make sure that we help those in need.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer saying tomorrow he will move to pass the bill in the Senate. And today, President-elect Joe Biden said he does support that increase in those direct payments. Reporting live, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Shaheen Hassan says New Hampshire expected to receive estimated $2 billion in new COVID relief funds. Funding expected to include $614 million in direct payments, $259 million for education, and $18.3 million for testing and tracing and migration. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
COVID-19 testing from Quest. Order at questcovid19.com.
New Hampshire will bring home $2 billion of the $900 billion pandemic relief package, according to the nonpartisan Congressional Research Service. New Hampshire's share of direct stimulus payments tops $614 million. That's from the $600 checks for Americans earning up to $75,000 a year and dependent children. And $685 million comes to the state for the 11-week extension of unemployment benefits. The $300 weekly boost raises the average benefit from $274 to $574.
A lot of really good stuff in there that will handle some of the costs that right now states are bearing. The federal government is going to come in and support specifically around the COVID pandemic.
New Hampshire will receive $200 million for rental assistance, close to $260 million in education relief funds, nearly $220 million for COVID programs like testing, tracing, and vaccine distribution, $5 million for funeral assistance, $6.8 million set aside for airports. And in the final days of 2020, the deadline for states to spend all the federal CARES Act funds already approved has been extended another year.
It is frustrating. I think a lot of people share that it did take so long for this to get done. One thing they were touting was the flexibility that states now have with CARES Act funds. They have passed that flexibility with a week to go. So most states have actually spent all of their CARES Act funds.
Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for joining us for this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Sunday. See you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics with Riley King. Goodbye, everyone.